Hi everybody, how's it going today? It's Sunday here today. I'm in our calf barn, as you probably just heard there. We got about a half inch of rain here Friday, Saturday. That melted most of the snow that we had here from that blizzard. Now today we got a little bit of snow again. It's kind of crazy. A couple weeks ago we were probably a few days away from being able to go out on the field, start spreading some manure. And now it's a muddy mess again, but that's fine. I'm not going to turn down moisture. We were so dry last year, I think I'll never complain about moisture again. But a few videos ago, I'd kind of talked to you guys about our breeding program and mentioned that we do some crossbreeding with Limousin and Angus, and also we put in some Angus embryos into our cows. So I thought I'd maybe talk about that today. It's kind of, yeah, it's been a little bit rainy weather here the last few days. Thought maybe this would be a good video. I'll show you some of the crossbreds here. I just had a local rancher pick up one of these calves for a calf that he lost, so it made me think about making a video for about these calves. So I talked to you guys about these crossbred calves. So these are see, this one's got some white on her. This is a heifer. This one's a bull. So these are Limousin crossbred calves, so Limousin Holstein crossbred. And the idea behind these calves is we don't, we only need a certain amount of Holstein heifer calves, and the bull calves, they're really of no value to us or no use to us. And these crossbred calves are better value as far as feeding wise. They feed more economical, and they'd be able to fit into a similar feeding style that Angus calves would, or Limousin calves, or any other beef calves. So all these calves will get sold to, we sell to a couple people that'll raise them up, and then they'll go for beef. And then yeah, they're picked up once a week. But we will sell some, especially this spring. We've sold quite a few calves here to local ranchers, just with the bad weather. Just, yeah, not good for these young calves. So if they end up losing one, they'll often purchase these calves from us to put on their cows, so they don't have to sell their cows. I'll show you. Well, there's another one right here. So if you're not very familiar with cows or calves, you probably can't tell much of a difference other than the color between a crossbred calf, a Holstein calf, and an Angus calf. I'll see if I can find a couple Angus here. This is an Angus here, a few days old, maybe about a week old. They've got a different shape head, but once they're about 3, 4, 5 months old, then you can really tell the difference between an Angus and a crossbred or a Holstein. And we do keep the Angus until about 4 or 5 months, and then sell them to. We had been selling a few here to a local rancher, who will raise them then from that point on, and then they'll go for beef. We did have a red Angus here last week. I'm not sure how we ended up with a red one, but that's a red Angus there. First one of those that we've had. Here's another black one. I think there was a few over here when I was looking earlier. Yeah, here's. So these are 100% Angus calves, and at this point it's more just a trial for us, I guess. We're just seeing if that's something that's profitable for us, or something that we can do on a larger scale. So instead of breeding with our Holsteins with either Limousin or Angus, we would put an Angus embryo in, so then we get a 100% Angus calf instead of say a 50% Angus calf or a 50% Limousin calf. And really the biggest thing is that these Angus cattle, they grow faster, they're more efficient on feed than a Holstein bull calf would be, or a crossbred calf even. And that breed of cattle is really designed for beef or for meat, where as a Holstein, the genetics of a Holstein is really geared towards milk production, and it's really quite a bit different. It takes different feeding style to feed one versus the other. I'll head over to our heifer barn and show you some of the older ones, and you can really see that the difference between the Angus. They're a lot shorter, more stocky. They almost look more muscular, like they're really built. They're really nice calves, kind of fun to look at them and compare them to the Holsteins. We'll head over there and I'll show you those. By our heifer barn here now. Like I said, we had about a ½ of rain here the last couple days. That pretty much melted all the snow that had fallen. Now we got some snow again today, and it just turned everything into a slushy, muddy mess out here. But not much we can do about it other than just deal with it, I guess. We'll close the door here quick. Not much we can do about it other than just deal with it, and hopefully in a couple weeks we'll get some warmer, drier weather, and we'll be able to get into the field, spread some manure, plant some corn, start to do some things outside again. So we've got some of the Angus calves here in this first pen. So these black ones here with the yellow tag. So this is 100% Angus calf. So is this one. You can tell at this point you can already even tell that their shoulders are wider. Their back's a little bit lower, not quite as straight as a Holstein is. And once we get up, a little bit older here, we have a couple pens in this barn that are all Angus calves. So this pen right here is all Angus calves. Heifers and steers. So they're, these to my left here, they're about the same age as these Holsteins here to my right. And these Holsteins, they're already quite a bit taller than the Angus are, several inches taller, a little bit longer. And we've got one more pen of older Angus here as well. It's Sunday today, so every Sunday we put our far off dry cows and heifers through a foot bath. So that's why you're hearing all the bellowing over there. They're just working at that today. So these are the older Angus that we have. So the embryos for these Angus calves, we get them from Select Sires, the same company that we get all of our semen from, our bull semen. And from what I'm told, these Angus embryos that we have here, these are supposed to be in the top 1% of the Angus breed. They're coming out of the top Angus bulls that Select Sires has, and they have a lot of they're really talking to each other now. So from what I'm told, that these are supposed to be some of the top Angus cattle around. I don't know much about beef cattle, so I don't know, but they do look like really nice calves. We kept one back for ourselves and raised it to about 13 months old, and it weighed 1,350-ish pounds or so, I think, when he went for slaughter. So we made hamburger and steaks out of him for ourselves, because we were kind of interested ourselves to see if how long it would take to get to that weight, and also what kind of what the quality of meat was. And I've had a few steaks from him, and they were pretty good. I'm not an expert by any means, but they were definitely good steaks. Every dairy is going to have either Holstein bull calves or crossbred calves. or now, like we are, some other dairies are doing this as well, putting these Angus embryos into their cattle. And all those calves, they will typically be raised similar to how heifers would be. So once those crossbreds leave our farm, they go to another farm and they'll raise them in individual pens like we do. And once they get older, they'll go into group pens. And yeah, fed's pretty similar typically until about 4 or 5 months, and then they might be put on a different ration to try to get them to grow a little bit quicker than say we'd want our Holsteins to. But the main idea behind us using both the Limousin and Angus semen on our Holstein cows and the embryos is just to get some more value out of those calves, make calves that perform better in a feeding situation when they go for beef. It's the Angus calves, we get a premium for those over top of our crossbred calves, and we get a premium on our crossbred calves over our Holstein bull calves, just because they're raised to slaughter weight a lot quicker, and yeah, just more efficient with feed overall. And they've really got it down to a science to where the Limousin bulls that we're using on our Holstein cows, they're bulls that really work well to pair with Holsteins, and they create calves that perform well in a feeding situation for beef. And the better those calves are, the more that we can sell them for. The calves have to be sold regardless, so we want to try to get as much value out of those calves as we can, which is why we've kind of been trying these Angus calves. We kind of quit putting them in here for a couple months because it does take some extra work to put embryos in versus just semen. But yeah, we started here again this spring now. A friend, or one of our herds guys, he does most of the embryo placing on our farm. But you have to be, breeding cows is pretty easy. Putting embryos in, you have to be quite experienced to do a good job at that. And it takes a lot of practice. And a friend is, and all of our herds guys, they are really good at what they do. They're good at getting cows pregnant. But it just takes a lot of practice to put the embryos in, because you have to really know what you're doing. And they are quite a bit more expensive than a straw with an embryo is a lot more expensive than a straw with semen. So if you don't know what you're doing, it can get costly pretty quick. But I thought I'd show you guys. I'm gonna talk about those Angus calves. A couple people had asked about them in previous videos, and yeah, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. If you have any comments, put them down below. So kind of crappy weather here the last couple of weeks, but hopefully it turns around quick, and I can show you guys some of the spring work that goes on our farm. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy the videos, and yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. I did want to add, in one of the earliest videos that I put out, might have been video 4, I'd kind of given an overview of our farm. I'd mentioned that my sister and brother-in-law, they make Gouda cheese and gelato from some of our milk. Just like to do a video over there. Just curious how interested you guys are in seeing that. Then you'll get to meet them also if they're up for it. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how they do that, how they make the cheese, how they make the gelato, let me know down below, and we'll try to get a video made over there in the next couple weeks. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.